festival to you. Fringe Radio.
Hello again and welcome to programme 23 of our 28 daily programmes, coming to you direct from Radisson Blu Hotel in the heart of Edinburgh. I'm Stuart Cameron. In today's show I meet half the cast of one of our favourite shows of the Fringe this year, When We Were Young. We talk to Michael Stafford-Wells from News Revue. We dip into a play called Fantasy World Adventures Theme Park. Comedian Alec Watson will be here. Part 2 of Stuart McFarlane's chat with Archie MacPherson. And there's some Edgar Allan Poe, and if that isn't eclectic enough for you, I don't know what is. But we start with music from the play The Real Kyle McCarran.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning, the sun is barely awake. You hear that new day calling, but you draw the shades and you turn away. I see you there with your smile on, keeping up the charade, hiding in photo albums, watching memories fade. Come on, wayward child, don't you face it all alone. You ring me up, I'll be there for you by the telephone. You can count on me, my darling. You can count on me, it's true. You can count on me to do everything you don't want to do. 'Cause if your roof begins to cave in and you need someone to come and save you, you could stay a while. You can count on me. I see your own little rain cloud following you all around. That hurricane comes a-knocking and it's breaking in while you're breaking down. But don't give in to the pressure. You keep your head held high, 'cause the pain won't last and the storm will pass. There's an endless summer sky. Come on, wayward child, shake away that misery. Open up because you deserve better company. You can count on me, my darling. You can count on me, it's true. You can count on me to do everything you don't want to do. 'Cause when that winter wind comes blowing and you need someone to come and hold you, I've got open arms. Put your feet up. You can count on me, darling. Let your hair down. You can count on me, darling. You can feel that all the world is standing by your side. And you can count on me, darling. You can count on me, it's true. You can count on me to do everything you don't want to do. And if your roof begins to cave in and you need someone to come and save you, you could stay a while. You can count on me. You can count on me, darling.
Music there from The Real Kyle McCarran. News Revue has been going for 47 years now, and every show is different because it's news related, so always topical, people coming back to see it. It's a formula that obviously works. It's also a great breeding ground for talented comedians, and with me now is Michael Stafford-Wells, one of these comedians.
One of these weird comedians.
This must be a dream to work on, this show.
It is. It's incredible. I mean, it's the first time I'm doing a Fringe show that actually feels like I'm doing a Fringe show. You know, I did a show back in 2009, and it was just awful. We were students, we didn't know what we were doing, we spent most of the time drinking. We ended up performing to about an audience of 2 people per night. We had 1 week run, and it was just like, this is not how you do Fringe.
And so 17 years later, you're back.
And here we are, yeah. And I'm sort of going, oh, this is how you do Fringe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved with this production?
So I was part of the January cast this year at News Revue. The cast changes every sort of 2 months. They do 6 to 7 weeks. And then just to keep everything fresh. So I was doing it from January to February. And then they opened up the auditions for the Fringe cast and saying, we'd like your cast to audition and a few of the others. Would you be interested? And I said, of course, I'd love to be interested. And we sort of got thrown straight into the room and had to audition. And then we're like, yep, great, you're in. And so it's definitely been a process. But like News Revue is just always just something, because like you say, it changes all the time. And you've always got to keep on top of what's going on in the news. And in January, there wasn't much going on in the news, so we had to sort of make terrible comedy sketches about the Epstein files and things like that. And it's like, this isn't funny. But it's been a process.
And now it's all Trump.
And now it's all Trump. We've got Trump, we've got Farage, we've got all the heroes.
Yes, and a new prime minister for a few weeks.
Yes, well, that happened during previews, which we were sort of like, interesting. Okay, because we had a lot of Keir. And then he stepped down, and we got Andy, and we're like, oh, okay, very quickly try and write some stuff and put him into it. But there is still a little bit of Keir, because we've still got the residues of Keir floating around,
So there's 4 of you then.
Yes.
We'll give a little plug to Kitty McNeil and Catherine Pridgeon and Will Usherwood Bliss.
Wonderful
that
human
is
beings.
What a name. That
Oh,
is,
God,
eh?
he's
Is that his real name?
It is.
Is it?
As far as I know, yeah, I think so.
So the 4 of you then, what, you just get into a room, have a look at the newspapers and think, right, this will work?
Basically, yes. I mean, we sort of spend Monday, Tuesday writing, looking through all the news articles, newspapers of all varieties, and picking out very small little news articles that I've been like, that could be quite funny to do. With a Fringe show, it's a bit more tricky, because you've got to find news articles that will make sense the beginning of August and also the beginning of September.
Ah, yes.
So you've got to do things that are a bit more, everyone understands what's going on. It's like a running news article rather than small little news segments that happen in the week that won't make any sense to you on the 1st of September.
So your show's really got to adapt.
It's got to
on
adapt.
the hoof.
All the time. And that was in Canal Cafe in London. That's where it changes every week. This one is a bit more concrete. But yeah, we take the full brunt of the writing, and then we've also got our MD Harry and the director Heather. We all combine our writings to make sure we do the best we can do, and also show each other off in the best light possible.
Now, you mentioned Emma Taylor.
Yes.
25 years you've been involved.
Yes. I mean, Canal Cafe is her baby. And
Yes.
it's nice to be able to be working with her and sort of repping her work, really, because you can clearly tell, like, Canal Cafe and News Revue she's so passionate about it. And the fact that it's been going on for so long, you can see how successful it is. And also with the huge backlog of very famous people that have done it. Like one of
Bill Bailey.
Bill Bailey
Yeah.
is one of the one that came straight to my mind, because I loved him as a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, I used to watch Black Books and
Yes.
all those programs. Like, I love this man, and like watched his live stand-up where he just picks up any instrument and starts playing. And then when I found out he did News Revue, I was just like, amazing. Okay, I'm doing the right thing.
And, he's not the only one. Sarah Pascoe, of course,
Yes.
famously has been through. And we're getting towards the 50th anniversary now.
We are.
Could we see some of these people come back to celebrate?
Oh, I'd love that.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
I'd really love that. I mean, we were toying with the idea of like getting Bill Bailey back, and like sending him sending his team an email being like,
His
would you be
people.
interested? His people. And I think that would be fantastic for a 50th anniversary. I think they've sort of got to, haven't they? Because it's like it's huge. 50 years is massive.
There's not many shows going that long.
No, not really. Especially not in the West End, where you got the third
Mousetrap, and that's about it.
Mousetrap. Yeah, that's it. Really.
Yeah. So it's a mixture really of sketches.
Yes.
Bit of music in there.
A bit of music.
Lots of comedy.
Lots of comedy. Hopefully everyone finds it funny. Lots of parody music. So we do take a lot of musical theatre numbers and also classic pop songs and turn them into silly political humour that hopefully everyone can enjoy. I mean, we do try and push the boat out and push some buttons, but don't try to be too offensive.
And who... It's a family show.
It's a family show,
Yes,
yeah.
Of course it is. Who actually has the best ideas out of the four of you?
That's a fantastic question. I mean, I'm
Apart
gonna,
from yourself, but let's knock you out for the...
I feel like the cast are going to regret me saying this, but I'm going to say it's Will, without a doubt. That man, he is a non-stop creative machine. He comes in every day with like, oh guys, I wrote like 15 more sketches last night. Can we just read them? It's like, I wrote one last night. How did you write 15?
But of course, your one could be better than all his 15, couldn't it?
Well, that's what, yes, I won't brag, But he is just a non-stop content machine, really. And then we sort of finalised the show, and then we sort of put it into concrete, and then he turned up the next day being like, oh, I've got a couple more sketch ideas. And I'm like, Will, stop.
So you're actually doing the whole lot, or all the way through to the 31st, apart from the 19th. You've got a day off on the 19th.
That's our sleep in.
And it's 6 o'clock at night, so it's not a bad
It's not a bad time.
Not a bad
yeah,
slot.
no, it's really not bad. It's lovely to be able to have the full day, and also it's a 55 to an hour long show. So finishes at 7:30 and then we're done.
And I'd imagine anyone coming to the early shows, they could then come back later on and you've got some brand new items.
Well, hopefully. I mean, we're mostly going to be sticking with the same material, but the voiceovers are going to be changing because being the Fringe Festival, there isn't a lot of time to rehearse new material, and then also...
Well, you're here 31 days, it must be time.
Well, you'd think, but it's sort of like, because we want to make sure we're not doing anything that's going to just flop.
Yeah.
And right now, all the sketches that we've got are golden, or in our opinion, are golden. The preview audiences love them. So we're like, let's not mess around with the material too much. Because I think the more comfortable we'll get with the show, the more we'll be able to play around with each other. But I think right now, and we've never really had that with News Review because it changes every week, like I said. So you sort of learn the material and then you do it. And then just as you're getting slightly comfortable, it's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, because we've got 31 days, it'll be quite nice, sort of like on week 2, how's that joke going to land? How is Catherine going to deliver that line? It's just sort of, it's quite fun to explore.
Yeah. So what about you then personally? You're obviously happy with News Review at the moment, but
Yes.
as we've seen with Bill Bailey and Sarah Pascoe and others,
Yes.
a lot of people using it as a stepping stone to bigger things.
Absolutely.
And you must have ambition.
I do have ambition. I do. I mean, I classify myself as a sort of like comedy character actor. So right now I'm sort of doing a lot of commercials, which is nice. And then my goal is to sort of go more into TV and film next year, and hopefully, and you never know what might happen out of this.
Yeah.
But it is just, I mean, I've been doing this since I was about 4 years old, like acting and being silly, and it's the only thing I really know how to do. So as long as I can pay the bills, I'm happy.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to talk to you and
Thank you
have a
very
little
much for having
chat
me.
with News Review. I'll just plug it again for you, 5th
Thank you.
to the 31st of August, and it's all happening at 6 o'clock, and the venue is...
Pleasance Courtyard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
After the break, my first visit on the show to the Royal Mile.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 Minutes of Shame from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
Black Blues Brothers, Let's Twist Again. Fringe favourites, the Black Blues Brothers are back. Expect a rock and roll jukebox, a train station and lots of acrobatics. Every day from August 5th to August 31st at 5 p.m. at McEwen Hall, Bristow Square. Tickets available at edfringe.com.
Two sisters, one man, a history neither of them fully understands. Becca, a painter, moves into architect Charlie's flat and the two quickly form a bond far deeper than either expected. But when miscommunication leaves their relationship unresolved, Becca's older sister Emily returns from traveling and unexpectedly falls for Charlie, unaware of everything that came before. As feelings collide and buried truths begin to surface, three lives become dangerously intertwined. A story of love, timing, sisterhood, and what happens when nobody says what they really mean. Almost everything is on at Bra Venues. Grand Lodge Venue 7 at 12 noon every day until August the 30th, except for the 26th. Tickets from edfringe.com.
We're broadcasting from the Radisson Blu Hotel, Edinburgh city centre, surrounded by the buzz of the Royal Mile, where you can recharge, refuel and jump straight back into the festive fun. With the space on the Mile based here, 7 theatres are filled with performances from morning until night every day of the Fringe. If you want to be at the centre of the action, this is the right place.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum, Invisible Force.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, an interesting way to start off the Royal Mile walk for today. A little bit of tap dancing from Swing Gum. They're actually going all the way through to the 29th of August at Venue 9 at the space at Nidri Street. And who do we have here?
My name is Gilles. I'm the main character of this show. It's a show about an American soldier and a love story with a French girl in north of France. And they meet again 75 years after the war. The tap dancing's coming at the beginning of the show, and tap and a love story, some acting. There is swing, tap, contemporary, everything.
How come you're at the Fringe?
So we heard about this festival. We say, why not? It's a big festival. And Edinburgh is an amazing town, so we say, okay, let's go.
And the tap dancing is superb. We just heard a little bit of it there.
A lot of tap dancers, world champion in this show. So it's the main part of the show.
It's happening at the Space Nidri Street, Venue 9, all the way through to the 29th at 4:10, and we wish you the very best of luck with it.
Well, thank you very much.
So who do we have here? Now, a second ago, this lady, it's Deborah, was wearing an alien mask, and there's probably a good reason for that. Hello, Deborah.
Hello, nice to meet you. Yes, there is a good reason. I am the writer and performer of a show called Extraordinary Alien.
Tell us about it.
Well, I lived in America for a while and I had to apply for my own visa, which is really quite crazy because you have to deal with a lot of bureaucracy. And when I was applying, and it's America, and when I was applying, I saw the name of the visa, the subtitle was Extraordinary Alien. And I thought, what a weird title. And yet it resonated with me because pretty much most of my life I felt like a weirdo, an outsider. And, I've always personally felt that I'm trying to fit in, and you can't really fit in when you're a bit different. So the show is an exploration of identity, family life, immigration, moving countries, and finally accepting that being different is actually okay.
Well, I have to say that until you put your mask on, I thought you blended in beautifully here.
Yes, because there's so many weirdos in Edinburgh, you mean? Yeah, in fact, my opening line is, "Greetings, Earthlings," and then I say, "I bet you weren't expecting an alien landing at the Edinburgh Fringe," and then I went, "Actually, you've probably seen a lot weirder. It is Edinburgh, after all." So, it's unbelievable, this place. It's got everything, hasn't it?
And where and when?
So it's 2:30 p.m. every day till the end. And it's at Le Monde Hotel. The room is called Shanghai at Le Monde, and it's on George Street.
I know
brilliant!
It well, in George Street, yes.
Yeah, so it's a great venue, and obviously with comedy, the more the merrier. And so I encourage everyone to come and laugh. There's a lot of jokes and a lot of true stories about my daughters and what they get up to, and they are fine with the fact that I expose all of our family dynamics.
Well, there's the comedy element right away.
Exactly. So the minute you have kids, you'll understand that it's a tough job.
And when's it on till?
It's on till the 30th of August. And so it's an hour, lots of laughter, lots of fun alien dancing, and you'll enjoy it. It's quite theatrical as well, because I do a lot of characters.
Well, we look forward to it, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Stuart. It's a pleasure.
Well, in the background you can still hear Swing Gum doing their thing, their bit of tap dancing, the Switzerland show, of course. But over here, Unmasked, the magic of Angus Baskerville. Hello, Angus.
Hello.
Now, tell us about your show.
So my show's Magic Mind Reading. This is my third time performing here at the Edinburgh Fringe with an all-new inclusive show. So it's magic mind reading, but also within the show there's a powerful insight into autism and neurodiversity as well. So essentially a little bit about my life growing up with autism and ADHD, how magic helped me, how magic changed my life. But also the specific topic is masking, hence the title of the show, and how we all mask. This is about encouraging people to really be themselves. So all within a magic show, magic mind reading illusion, suitable for both adults and children.
And good reaction so far?
Yes, no, really good reactions.
Well, we have to tell everyone where it is. It's venue 39 at the Radisson Blu, the space on the mile, and it's on till the 28th, 4:05 every day. And you said you've been to the Fringe before?
Yes, I have. This is my third time.
And you're enjoying it?
Yes, very much so.
Excellent. Well done, and good luck with it.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Right, a very quick interview for this young lady now, because she's about to go on stage, and it's Chrissy Derbyshire. She's got a show called Innards. Tell me about it.
It is supposedly 45 minutes. I've discovered it's a bit shorter than 45 minutes when I actually perform it.
But it's quality, isn't it, we're after?
Absolute quality over quantity, yes. Show about being very uncomfortable with the fact that I have to have a body. So it's got a lot of very silly stuff about mental health, bodily discomfort. It has at least one velociraptor and at least one octopus in it. I get very obsessed about a TV ad from 1988.
Well, it's on at 11:15, which is in a few seconds' time,
Yeah.
and it's on till the 30th. We wish you the best of luck with
Thank you
it.
very much. It's on at Whistle Binkies, 11:15 a.m. every day.
And that's in Nidri Street.
Yes, thank you.
Go and do your show. And another one here, the Spontaneous Rex Improv Comedy, back for their 7th hysterical year. And a lovely young lady here. What's your name?
My name's Val.
And you're part of this group?
Well, I'm actually a guest.
You're a guest
performer.
Guest performer. Tell us all about it.
Well, we all come from Newcastle, and we all started off at the Suggestibles School of Improv. This group have been going for a very long time. They're really funny.
And it's a great venue, isn't it? The Banshee Chamber, which we were at last night, of course. And the 25th is when it's happening at 12 p.m.
Yes, not long now. Yes, that is a fabulous venue, really spooky.
Lots of improv comedy.
It's hilarious.
Next up, who are you, sir?
Rob.
Rob, hello Rob. Now you're doing a very important job. You're flyering for your good friend who is Charlie Lewis.
Yeah.
And he's got a show called Hungry, stand-up show about love, life and lunch. Goes on to the 30th. It's at the Three Sisters, the live room, 11:30, and that's at the 139 Cowgate. Tell us about the show.
Well, basically it's a bit of work in progress. He's got over 100 million views online. So he's bound to be funny for somebody, right?
Absolutely, and of course social media is so important to comedy these days.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much things to do and see within the Fringe, so Sometimes it's a bit of potluck, but this guy's funny. Go and see him.
Yes, recommended by Rob here. Three Sisters again, the live room, 11:30 every morning. We wish Charlie the best of luck. Send him our regards.
I'll send my regards. Thank you.
Devin McWhirter is with me now. He's involved as one of the actors on Giggle with the Gaggle, written by David Gardner. Now, this is at Venue 39 at Radisson Blu, Space on the Mile at 12:35. So you're getting in some flyering before the big show, which goes on to the 29th. How's it going so far?
Yeah, it's going amazing. So our first day was yesterday, and we've gotten a good few reviews in so far. So yeah, it's an exciting week to go.
And what about the audience?
Audience was great. I had a few people there yesterday, and they were amazing, laughing when they needed to laugh. So it was good.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what you want.
And it's Balancing Act Theatre putting this on. Tell us about them.
So Balancing Act are a theatre company based in Edinburgh. They've done multiple shows. They've got, I think they've got 3 on this Fringe. One later tonight at the same venue called Squat, which is also very funny, and I would definitely recommend going to see that as well. So yeah.
Of course you would.
Yes, of course.
But what about Giggle with the Gaggle?
So it's a kind of tragedy, but comedy. It's exploring 3 friends who go to Pride and suffer a loss, and their process through the grief and how they overcome it and become stronger together. So it's full of laughs, full of teary moments. It's very, very...
In the right places.
Yes, in the right places.
Well, we wish you all the best of luck with it. It's Venue 39 on till the 29th, 12:35 every day at the Space on the Mile.
Yes,
Thanks very much, Devin. Cheers. Millie is with me now. She's starring in The Candidates by Harry Pitts, and it says it's a masterclass, says the Nerd Review. The Mancunian says manages to smash all expectations, and as if that wasn't enough, it was the best-selling show at the UMDS Autumn Fringe last year. So, hello, Millie.
Hello.
Tell us more about The Candidates.
The Candidates is a political comedy based on a fictional by-election in Chorley, where the most caricaturistic of candidates are thrown together in this melting pot of political craziness, I suppose.
Yes.
And the audience watch as they tear each other apart to become the MP for Chorley.
In Lancashire.
In Lancashire, indeed.
Yes, and this is at the Mash House, which is 37 Guthrie Street. We know it very well, part of Just the Tonic. It starts at 12:50, and well, you've already had a little run at it. It goes through till the 30th of August. How's it going so far?
It's going really, really well. We're getting better every single night, so we're really excited for what this week has to offer for us.
So by the time it gets to the 30th, you'll be absolutely smoking.
I should hope so. We're either going to be perfect or we're going to be slogging through, but I'm hoping for the first one.
That's right. Well, it sounds like a great idea for a Fringe show, so well done. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Lovely to speak to you.
Next up is another new play. This is, well, a rock musical, is it? Called Beth, and it's at the Jeffrey Street, the Space at Venue 45 until the 29th at 3 o'clock every day. Now, who do we have here?
Kira. Beth.
Beth, you're the title here.
Gender swap version of Macbeth, so we have a female lead.
Ah, I see. So that's a real coincidence that you're called Beth and the play is called Beth.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Tell me about it.
It's a rock musical.
All our voices are recorded, so we've pre-recorded everything, and we lip-sync to it all, and there's lots of dancing, there's sword fighting, there's everything. So if you want to come see, it'll definitely be your thing.
Well, that's very honest of you, saying that it's pre-recorded. I mean, that is refreshing to hear.
Yeah, well, it helps us to make sure that we're on time and everything like that, and it's honestly, it's so good. So come watch if you'd like to.
So you opened yesterday. How did it go?
It went really well, thank you. We had a good audience, so it was very nice to experience.
And it lasts 1 hour and 10 minutes. That's a nice bit of time on stage. How did you get involved?
It's our school show production. So
what's the name of the school?
Asheville College, Harrogate.
Harrogate in Yorkshire.
Yes,
very good. So how did you hear about the Fringe?
We're doing this all through our school, so it's all our school that's come up to do it. And we performed this show last year, and then it was so good, so they decided to bring it up to the Fringe.
So you're all very excited with your experience in Edinburgh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the best of luck with it. That's Beth, happening on Venue 45, the Space, at all the way through to the 29th, 3 o'clock every day. Go and see Beth. Next up is yet another new one as far as we're concerned. It's actually been going since the 19th, goes through to the 29th at the Space Surgeons Hall, which is Venue 53 on Nicholson Street. 4:45 every day, and it's called Girl Bosses and Billionaires by Katie Connolly, and we've got the producer here. What's your name?
I'm Alice Jones.
Okay, Alice, tell us about Girl Bosses and Billionaires.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a satirical comedy that basically parodises celebrities and their sort of insanity to do crazy things. So it follows 4 celebs as they go up to space in the name of feminism. But really, it's a bit of a sham. It's slightly ridiculous, and it's a bit uncomfortably close to the real world we live in and the things celebs do around us every day.
Airborne Theatre is presenting it, and tell us about Airborne Theatre, where they're from.
Yeah, so Airborne Theatre's from Leeds. It's affiliated with the University of Leeds, but it's its own professional theatre company. It takes 2 shows a year to the Edinburgh Fringe. So before we were up here, we had our sister show, Sweaty Clowns. Yeah, it's a really great opportunity. They bring up 8 students with each show, so 16 students a year get the opportunity to come up to the Fringe and experience it all.
Great stuff, and you've already been going since the 19th, so what's the initial reaction to it?
Really good. It's been so fun. I mean, it's a debut for 7 out of the 8 of us, like performing or producing and directing here. We've had 5 out of 6 sold out shows, so a great start, and yeah, it's just crazy, and there's so much to see and so much to do, but we're like trying to make the most of absolutely everything.
And a tremendous experience being here.
Yes, it's just brilliant. Like every walk, every street, it's just crazy to be on. So fun.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck with it.
Yeah, thank you
right the way through to the 29th, and that's venue 53 Nicholson Street, the space at Surgeons Hall, 4:45 every day. Girl Bosses and Billionaires.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Another play then, this time by OMF Theatre, is called Henry VIII and His Groom. It goes on till August the 30th. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, would you believe? It's at the Paradise in the Vault, which is venue 29. Who do we have here?
Hi, my name is Greg, but I play King Henry VIII. In Henry and His Groom. We sell coffee in the venue, so get yourselves up and get yourselves there. Henry and His Groom. His Groom, as you may know, is the King's bathroom attendant. There's lots of toilet humour in there, but it's also a study of male grief through historical comedy. Really, it's about the relationship between Henry and the person closest to him, who has unrivaled access to the king because he's with him in that stool, that Tudor toilet. So it's a side of Henry perhaps you won't have seen before.
We're in the very early stages of this.
Yeah, really excited. Yeah, it's wonderful to be here. If you find me on the Royal Mile and you have a selfie with your king, we'll give you a free ticket to the show. Worth thinking about.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Now, actually, you're right next to Beth the musical, who we've just spoken to, of course, but we'll speak to another couple of characters as well. What is your name?
My name is Grace.
Hello, Grace.
And I play the Queen, so King Duncan, but obviously because it's a gender swap musical, everyone's swapped around, hence why Beth. And it's, I don't know if it's been mentioned, it's the only show on the Fringe that uses headphones. So it's all a pre-recorded show, but we obviously act it out, we put all the emotion in, we put into even if we were acting it in real life. It's got a fully orchestrated performance, it's a very immersive performance, and it's surround sound. It is in venue 45 at 3 o'clock, the space venues, every day till the 29th. We are sold out on Thursday.
Sold out on Thursday? Congratulations, that's good. Well, you certainly look the part, and all the people involved in Beth that we've met so far, including someone called Beth, has done really well. So it looks great. You're on till the 29th.
Indeed, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Hopefully see you there.
Coming next, Hugh Brown is talking with the producers of Fantasy World Adventures Mega Park.
So with me now are Abby and Savannah from Fantasy World Adventures Mega Park, which I went to see the other night, and it was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, thank you very much. So glad you enjoyed it.
Let me start with Abby first of all, because you're one of the writers, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. So I wrote the book and lyrics, and our lovely colleague Matt Stanley wrote the music for us. So it was a collective effort.
So how did the idea come about then, Abby?
So it was a bit of a long story really, but I'll give you a nice short, concise version. We're working on different shows together, we've worked together for years, and we thought, wouldn't it be so much fun if we could write a musical that is just silly for silly's sake, no really deep morals or super dark themes, just something that was super fun and enjoyable for anyone, a way to kind of leave your worries at the door and just have a really good laugh for good amount of time. So that's where the story kind of came from. This was all a conversation in the car, a big long car journey, and by the end of the car journey we'd come up with the concept and the characters and one or two of the songs. So that's kind of how it started. It was the end of 2024 when this happened, so yeah, it's been a long period. We debuted the show in 2025 in Leeds. It was a full-length musical, so 2 hours with an interval, and then based on the lovely reviews and audience feedback that we received, we thought, you know what, let's take this momentum and this really great feedback and reception and condense the show and take it to Fringe and see how it does there. And so far, fingers crossed, I can say it's going really well.
And Savannah, yes, you're the producer. I mean, Abby's mentioned it started out as 2 hours. You had to condense it down to an hour and 10 for the Fringe. Was that difficult?
Yes, it was. I think especially from hearing the sort of conversations that Abby and Matt were having, there was so much great content in the 2 hour version last year, and it was sort of difficult to understand, you know, what parts were super key to the plot that were necessary to bring forward for this year's production, because so much of our hilarity comes from the side characters that they've created and the stories that kind of interweave throughout the show. So we thankfully had a lot of really lovely audience feedback, but also a lot of very constructive thoughts as well, which were able to sort of help Abby and Matt with understanding what they needed to cut. And it was quite tight. There were a few rehearsals where we were timing it and being like, okay, where do we need to tighten? And that's where sort of like transitions came in, where we'd be like, okay, how can we speed up this transition or make this bit a bit quicker? But yeah, Abby and Matt worked absolute wonders in condensing the show. So yeah, credit is all to them.
As far as the content is concerned, Abby, I mean, the storyline is set obviously in a fantasy theme park, and it's about a son who inherits the park from his father, who sadly passes away, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. We follow, I mean, this is a story that's been told time and time again. You know, think of your High School Musicals and things like that. It's something for the younger generation that, you know, can all kind of relate to, following in your parents' footsteps, following a path that you possibly don't want to be on. So I think this is quite a unique take on that kind of similar outline, in that instead of wanting to be the CEO of a theme park, as Teddy's dad Carlos suggested, he actually wants to be the park's infamous theme park mascot.
He wants to be a bunny rabbit, basically.
Exactly. He wants to be the giant fluffy bunny rabbit that does all the meet and greets and all the parade floats around the park. So it's a ridiculous concept, but there are some lovely themes in there about following your own path and being true to yourself, even if other people think it's ridiculous. Your passions are your passions, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's about finding that support system along the way and doing things that, you know, people might not expect, but they work out in your favour.
And Savannah, it's a cast of 10, so it's quite a big cast to bring together, but they all work really well and meld together, and particularly in the cast ensemble numbers, the singing is just fantastic.
Yeah, they are all just incredible. I mean, we held auditions end of April, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
And we had a really overwhelming show of just incredible performers. But one of the key things was just how well they all work together, and finding that right chemistry, because obviously in a theme park and in, I guess, any workplace, there's obviously drama here and there, but everyone has to work together and everyone has to get along and create whatever it is they're working on. So we had to have that same mentality when it came to approaching the Fringe. So we had to think, you know, is this same chemistry going to come across on stage? The audiences need to believe that they are in a theme park and they've all worked together for years, even though some of them had only met a few months ago. But yeah, the singing and the vocals, they're all just so powerful. And I've watched the show countless times now, and I'm still blown away by their talent. It's amazing.
The show's actually put on here in the Radisson Blu Hotel, where our studio is, and it's a lovely space because it's a nice size of theatre for the performers to play in. They're close enough. You don't need microphones, really.
Yeah, exactly. We were really lucky with the space that we have. We're in space 3, which is just up the stairs. It's a 58 capacity, so it's a really decent size. And the stage space itself, dimensionally, was something that was really key. Savannah and I think the benefit of having our previous production in Leeds was that we knew last year, whilst the Fringe was going on, you know, in 2025, that it was something that we wanted to come to in 2026, and we were going to make it happen. So we had a really kind of long notice period. So as soon as applications were open again to kind of book in for this year, we were straight there. So we probably were one of the first 10 shows or something that booked in, but it meant that we could have our pick of the stage space. And yeah, our original cast was 14 to 15, so it was a bit larger, so we had to kind of cut some characters and alter some tracks to make sure that everybody could fit in the space. So, and yeah, the choreography was huge scale last year as well. So I also choreographed the show, so finding that rhythm to condense it all down to fit the stage space that we have was less of a challenge, because we were really lucky with the size of the space that we had. Yeah.
And Savannah, you were very lucky because you were one of 16 companies to receive money from the Edinburgh Fringe Society's Keep It Fringe Fund, weren't you?
Yes, we were absolutely over the moon to have received that. This is our first time coming to the Fringe, and this is our biggest venture really as a company after our Leeds run. So we really knew we needed to have sort of financial backing to be able to make it possible. But not only is it an incredible honour to have that financial backing, but also just to be recognised for our show and for our work. And we put so much time into our applications, and we believe in the show so much, and we believe in the company so much, and we know that like our cast have the talent to take it all the way, and it's something that we really believed in. So to be able to write that into an application and have someone read it and believe in our show and think that's the company that I'm going to give a portion of our funding to was just an incredible honour, and it was a life changer for us. Like it made an incredible difference. And yeah, we just couldn't be more grateful, to have received that.
It's been described, Abby, as an absolute riot from start to finish, and I think that really sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely encapsulates the story that we're trying to tell. I mean, hopefully you would agree, Hugh, from that opening number, I mean, the energy that the cast just bring to the stage, it's really in your face, and I think from that moment, you just know it's going to be, pardon the pun, an absolute roller coaster of a ride. The characters are ridiculous.
That was a terrible pun, by the way.
That was awful. I'm so
plenty
sorry.
more where that came from.
Yeah, I keep doing that. I keep quoting the show accidentally. But yeah, no, it's so much fun, and it's so much fun to be a part of. I mean, we've watched it countless times now, as Savannah said, but we're just still not bored of it. It's still funny to us. I don't know if that's, we're possibly biased here, but that is what it feels like.
You've performed it in Leeds. It's been here at the Fringe. Where next then, Savannah?
Ooh. Well, we have discussed a few ideas of where we'd like to take it. We would love to go on a regional tour in Yorkshire or in the north of England, with Leeds being the birthplace of our company and where all of us met. It really means a lot to us to be able to take that work to the place that we love so much and the place that we all met, and also explore new parts of the north of England that we might not have worked in before. We've been having discussions about possible ventures towards sort of Manchester or further up north in Yorkshire, but we just want to be able to share this story with as many people as possible. I think we can all agree it's such a universal story. Like, it's got a unique take on it, but it can resonate with so many people. We've got characters of parents, and then we've got characters that are children, so it really is one of those stories that everyone can relate to. Far and wide, we just want to take it wherever we can.
We just want to keep going.
Yeah, Abby, there are a couple of strong words, but not too many in it. I suppose if you took those out, which wouldn't really detract, I don't think, you could actually put it on for instance, for schools.
Yeah, 100%. I think the great thing about the concept and the story that we have is there can be so many iterations of it. Obviously, we already have our original full-length production. We have our condensed Fringe version here. I think if we were to extend it back out again, maybe some of the edits that work this time we'd keep in there. It's definitely adaptable to a family-friendly audience. But I think some of the comedy, with some of those slightly ruder themes is what really was our USP when we originally created the show. And that's the thing that people told us that they loved so much. So that's why we've felt it was key to keep it in this time. But you're so right. There's a multitude of different options that we could do with the show. So anything, whether it's a northern tour, whether it's somewhere further afield, anything. I think we can adapt the show and make it whatever people want it to be, and it still hold the value and the talent that it has at the moment. Yeah.
I know this is Fringe Radio, but when I was doing the Royal Mile Walk, then I saw you instantly, because you wear these wonderful bright yellow polo shirts with the branding on it, the actual logo of the theme park, which sets you apart, stands you out, and it's a great idea, actually. Was that somebody's idea, Savannah, to have the branded polo shirts?
Yeah, I believe it was when we were sort of looking at costume design for our show last year. We were sort of discussing the vision. I was like, we could have these great yellow polos that like bring everyone together. And then we thought, why don't we extend that to kind of make it a company uniform almost? So us as producer and director, creator, we all have our own polos as well. So we kind of match the cast, which is really nice. But yeah, it's a really nice sort of community feel then when we go out on the Royal Mile. if I'm meeting someone for flyering, I know exactly where they are because we're all so bright. But as well, incorporating our mascot suit into our like flyering on the Royal Mile has just been an absolute game changer. We've had people come up to us saying, "Oh my gosh, I know you from the bunny. Like I've seen the bunny going up and down the mile." So for that to be like a way to really make us stand out, because obviously we understand the Fringe has so many, like, you know, thousands upon thousands of incredible shows. So especially as a company where we're here for the first time and don't have that sort of existing name within the industry, to be able to have something that people have held on to and recognised, it's just incredible, and we couldn't have asked for, you know, a better reception, really. So if it's a dancing bunny that gets people talking about our show, then
I tell you,
what
though,
else can we do?
Abby, I mean, if in the weather we've had in the past couple of weeks in Scotland has been 24, 25 degrees, wearing that bunny suit in the Royal Mile must be pretty hot.
It's hard work. I think all of us collectively have probably done a bit of a shift in the bunny suit, dancing around, because obviously we really want to make people laugh, and we really want to stand out as someone on the mile that, you know, is worth going to see. So we're all really going for it. We're throwing all the shapes.
Oh,
you know,
so
we're doing all the things. So yeah, I mean, we're having great fun, but we are having to take it in turns a bit. It is a little bit stinky, that bunny suit now, so probably need to take it to the dry cleaners, don't we?
Yeah, probably.
I did notice it's torn a bit. One of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, which we're not surprised at.
No,
I mean,
it's been through a lot, that suit.
100%, yeah. All the dances, all the interactions. So yeah, it was probably inevitable. And at one point, you know, I don't want to give too much away, but the bunny, they do the splits.
They do the splits. They do a lot.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if things start ripping when, you know, we're pushing the suit to the max, aren't we?
I mean, we're 7 shows in, I think, now. So, you know, it's only a matter of time, but got our trusty portable sewing kit. So
we're all
nothing we
good to
can't
go.
fix.
Well, can I just say, it is a huge amount of fun. You come away with a smile on your face, and that's exactly what you want, isn't it? When you go to a Fringe show that's a musical comedy, and you've achieved that. So congratulations to both of you and to the rest of the cast. It's just a really great evening, which people will thoroughly enjoy. It is here at the Radisson Blu, Venue 39, Space on the Mile, through until the 29th of August at 6:05 every night. Abby, Savannah, thanks for joining me on Fringe Radio.
Thank
you so much for having us. That was really fun.
Now, in an act of both tragedy and comedy, we hear from Alec Watson, writer and star of Laughing Matters, the bittersweet story of a comedian navigating grief, loss and starting again. Alec has been speaking to Simon Walton.
Alex Watson's work, Laughing Matters, tells the story of a comedian whose world is turned upside down by the death of his girlfriend. Alex, welcome to Fringe Radio. What made you want to explore grief through comedy?
I was at drama school training as an actor, and I started doing some stand-up. I'd done a little bit of it before, but a friend of mine and I set up a stand-up night at the school that we were at, and we started doing these stand-up nights. And I was thinking about how comedians are often expected to be, to some extent, like authentic in their material, and I was thinking about how quite often we know that the stories that a stand-up is telling us aren't true, but we also kind of get a sense that they're based, at least loosely, in the kinds of things that have actually happened to them and that they have actually experienced. So when I was writing this, I was trying to think about like pushing that idea to the limit and trying to find out what the most difficult position you could kind of put a stand-up comedian in would be, and kind of like how far you could sort of stretch the limits of their life versus kind of their comedy material to see like when it actually breaks.
It's fascinating, the format, because we're watching your character, Chris, both as a character in a play and as a stand-up comedian performing his material. Now, our review on fringeradio.co.uk on our website described the show as managing to deliver equal parts comedy and grief-driven melancholy. How do you transition from one extreme emotion to the other on stage?
It's interesting. It's difficult, and it's something I think we've spent a long time working on when we've been developing the show. Parts of the show are stand-up routines, kind of performed like with a microphone to the audience, and then other parts are sort of a more theatrical monologue in the style that you've probably seen in other solo pieces of theatre. And I think that generally the stand-up routines and the play are kind of kept quite separate. So the stand-up, especially at the beginning, is played for laughs completely, and then the play sections, the kind of theatre sections, are more complex. So I think we have written a lot of jokes into that, but generally they're kind of slightly more character-based jokes, or some of them are kind of like slightly darker. And I think generally the audience gets quite a good feel for, at least at the beginning, things are kind of like quite happy and quite sort of funny, hopefully. And that's generally been, we've had some really good audiences, so the reactions for that have been great. And then the play kind of takes a bit of a turn, and that is intentional. I think that we kind of wanted to portray this kind of moment in this comedian's life as kind of like an emotional whiplash. So we try and like juxtapose those throughout the show. But then even in these kind of darker or like sadder moments, we do try to kind of find some kind of levity, whether that's sort of darker humour or just, you know, and I think it is true that when someone's going through something quite sad or quite difficult, there are still moments where they have they can sort of find like a little moment of levity to kind of bring them back out of that.
Chris, your character, is forced to throw away the material he's built up and built his comedy career around and essentially start again from a blank page. Is that a metaphor for real life?
Yeah, it is. And I think that there are a few other parts in the show that sort of mirror that. So we have like on stage, we have kind of some of his notes for his stand-up set, and as I kind of go through the stand-up set, you can see them kind of getting like crossed off and like at some points kind of taken down, so you can sort of see the progress of that as he moves through it. But there's another kind of part of it, which is that like Chris is then left to also deal with all of the stuff that he sort of has in his flat that he used to share with his girlfriend, and I think that we kind of think of those as like almost like parallel processes. Like when someone that you love or that you care about passes away, you're left with kind of all of these like physical things that you have to decide what to do with, and that's sort of connected to how we treat the stand-up set. You're also left with these kind of these things that used to be kind of shared, and now they're not, and so you either have to kind of throw them away, or as you can kind of see in the show, you might need to find ways to sort of like reuse or kind of add new meaning to those things. So the sort of the journey of the stand-up material and the journey of the character are like completely interlinked, and that's kind of the idea behind the show.
There's obviously some very difficult emotions at the heart of the story. What responsibility do you feel towards the audience for, on the one hand, making them laugh out loud, and on the other hand, asking them to descend into grief with you in the next moment?
I think I feel that ultimately what I hope the audience can sort of take away from it is a sense that comedy is a useful tool and kind of a something that can help you through difficult times. And so I sort of, when I'm describing the show to people on the mile, I do say that it's there are kind of sad points in it, but I hope that they come out of the show feeling like it was quite heartwarming. I think we're kind of, I'm sort of not trying to have people walk out sort of feeling like this really like heavy sense of grief. I'm hoping that they walk out feeling that like they've been there, maybe at least briefly, but that they kind of have a new appreciation for some of the things that comedy kind of does to help people through difficult times. So there's a little bit in the show, I think, about the meaning of comedy and kind of the use of comedy, especially in difficult times. And I hope that people come out of the show with a greater appreciation for that.
Has performing Laughing Matters changed your own understanding of the character, or the relationship between comedy and something as serious as loss?
Yeah, I think as I've performed the show, I've realised that as a character, Chris, who is, I think in some ways not too dissimilar from me, but still kind of in some quite fundamental ways quite different. A lot of the jokes that we've written into the script in the non-stand-up sections, which are just things that he's saying to the audience, it's become clearer to me the way that he as a character kind of uses humour as deflection, because it's often in moments where he's clearly struggling and finding something quite difficult that we actually ended up in the script with kind of small jokes here and there. And as I've continued to kind of play the character and like settle into that role, I've gotten a clearer idea of actually all the vulnerability that Chris is trying to keep from the audience, even in the moments where it's sort of a confessional monologue.
Finally, Alex, Laughing Matters has already had successful London runs, and now you've brought it to the Fringe. Did the Fringe present different challenges for you as a performer? And with a handful of performances still to come, is there anything you've modified before the run wraps on Friday?
It definitely presents unique challenges. I think that when you're putting on a show elsewhere, you don't have to think about flyering all day and then doing your show. And I think that there's so much more energy that the Fringe requires. You also have, quite a lot of variation in audience size as well, possibly more so than you would get elsewhere. But I think it sort of teaches you to just almost not be as much of a perfectionist and just sort of work with the room and the audience that you end up with. Over the course of the run, we have made some changes to especially just a couple of little tweaks to the stand-up set, because I think that when you are preparing to arrive, you can spend all the time you like sort of sitting and looking at the script, but it's only when you actually get the show as a whole in front of people that you get a real sense for when maybe there's one bit with a punchline that isn't quite landing or something like that. And so we've made kind of some changes to just a few of the jokes and other sections that have just really tightened that up. So I'm pretty sure that by the end of this festival, I think it will be the best show it's ever been, because you just can't replace, especially with stand-up, you can't replace the experience of just trying the material night after night after night and getting a sense for what is really working and what's maybe sort of working half of the time.
Alex Watson, thank you very much indeed for joining us on Fringe Radio. And Alex is performing Laughing Matters on at 7:40 p.m. at the Thistle Theatre Greenside at Riddles Court. That's venue 16, and that's running until this Friday, the 29th of August.
Alec Watson talking to Simon Walton. And after the break, a chat with some of the cast of When We Were Young.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
One story, two people. Amanda Crowley and Thomas Duncan. One lawyer, one mass murderer. The case is lost. She wants it anyways. Not to win, but to understand how monsters are made. Glimpse behind the societal masks, as with Monster Made, an intense character study, a captivating, psychological, intimate play is coming to the Fringe at Paradise in the Vault. Only the one who can change his mind can actually change something. Monster Made runs from August 24th to August 30th. Book your seats today at edfringe.com.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum. Invisible Force.
This August, discover the best comedy, cabaret, kids shows and more at the Free Festival. With over 360 daily shows, there's something for everybody at a price for everyone. Donate what you think the show's worth at the end, or book pay what you can tickets to keep the Fringe accessible for everyone. The Free Festival, the real spirit of the Edinburgh Fringe. Full programme at freefestival.co.uk.
Print it, copy it at thecopyandprintshop.com.
Your printing is made easy at the Copy and Print Shop. We specialise in rapid printing services, leaflets, posters, brochures, banners, business cards and more. Collect your order at our Glasgow print shop or have it delivered wherever you are. Find out more at thecopyandprintshop.com.
Print it, copy it at thecopyandprintshop.com.
One of Australia's best tribute acts, the 64, make their Edinburgh Fringe debut with 70s jukebox. At the Assembly Rooms, Bijou, Venue 20, you'll enjoy powerhouse vocals, slick choreography, and full-on energy as the 64 bring you the best music of the 70s. They're relishing the opportunity to play for an Edinburgh audience for the very first time at 2:30 every afternoon from the 18th to the 30th of August. Get your tickets now at edfringe.com.
For 31 years, the Space UK has championed new writing and exciting companies from across the world, giving artists an affordable, supportive, and professional platform at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Now presenting one of the Fringe's largest and most diverse programmes across 19 theatres and 6 venues, there's always something new to discover at the Space UK. Explore the programme and book at thespaceuk.com.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, there's no doubt about it. One of the big hits of the Fringe this year has been When We Were Young, written by Liam Lammy, who we heard from earlier in the week with Hugh Brown. But I wanted to explore a little bit more about the play. So we've accosted 3 of the cast who are with me now. And Liam, obviously, writer, plays Mooney. Ross Macquarie, who plays Tam, which is Mooney's brother. And Dion Frati, from Italy via Glasgow, who's playing Michaela, and plays it very well, Michaela.
Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. It's great to have you all along here anyway. You've just literally come off stage.
We have,
It's such a dramatic ending. We're not going to give it away for anyone who hasn't seen it. But, there are real tears at the end, real passion. In fact, your mascara's running already. And I was talking to Tam there. But it really is an emotional roller coaster, isn't it?
Really is an emotional roller coaster. So straight after the show, I think we're all a wee bit frazzled. So yeah, we take a wee minute to sort ourselves out. Yeah.
I mean, I was actually going to say, because I mean, you say you take a minute. I mean, some people take sort of a much longer than that.
Yeah.
Because it really is, powerful stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's like we try our best to make it as realistic as possible to get the message across as much as we can. We don't want to do anything in halves.
No, you certainly don't. So, and it's been a sellout run again this year.
It's been amazing,
which is fantastic. Tremendous reaction. I mean, fair to say, a roaring success, as it was last year as well. Was it the same venue that you played?
Yeah, we were in the Space in the Mild last time. We were in Space 3 this year, and we're in Space 2. But yeah, same in the Radisson, same space venue.
Yeah, it's a really good venue, but
it's great.
But you could easily had a bigger venue and done as well. So are you already talking about next year?
Yeah, we're talking.
Well, we heard you were footing the bill for us for next year. Is that correct? Yeah, just get that in writing today.
Yeah, we're thinking of the Festival Theatre. It'd be quite nice.
Obviously, the main thing for us, we're a tiny self-funded company, so coming to the Fringe, as it is for anybody, is a massive risk. But coming to the Fringe when you're skint is an even massive a risk.
And there's 3,600 shows.
I know, so you're competing.
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, these are people who are, hardly any of those people are going to be actually making any money.
I know. Even selling out, you're like, it's hard to make a profit when you've got so much to foot before you're even in Edinburgh, before you're even here doing the shows. You've got so many like promo things to do. You've got the venue, like there's travel, parking spaces, everything. There's just so much to think about and so much money involved in it. So we would love to. We've loved it. Every year we come, we go, I can't wait till next year. Financially, we would love to come back. We just need to see if the bank allows it.
It's fueled by passion, isn't it? Yes, totally. Now, for newcomers who haven't seen it, whatever, just take us on a little journey on how the whole thing came about, Liam.
So When We Were Young is a working class Scottish story set in the schemes of Govan in the 90s, and it follows the story of one of the young teams who live there. So the young teams are like a gang of youths who hang about the streets and things. It's set in Govan in the scheme where there's lack of opportunity, there's violence, there's drugs, there's knives, there's a lot of things that the young people are competing against before they can even think about growing up. And it's shown that the decisions you make when you're young can impact your life when you're older. And it's also about showing these people as real people, as opposed to being the caricatures that they've kind of became over the years with like kind of media and comedy shows and stuff like that, to show that there's real people beneath the caricatures. So it's about putting working class representation on the stage to try and get more working class people to go to the theatre and see themselves in the theatre, which is so important.
Yeah, what made you sort of choose this as the subject anyway?
I think the fact that this story is set around a gang and it's set around a group of people who are grown up around knife crime and stuff is so important right now, because although it's set in the 90s, it is just as relevant today as it was back then. In fact, knife crime in Glasgow has went up 20% in the last 10 years. So in 2005 it was named the murder capital of Europe, and it's going back in that direction. The knife crime is increasing, so we would love to do as much as we can to raise awareness of that, to try and bring it down. We don't think it's going to change the world or anything, but if it can make one person leave the house without carrying a knife, then we'll take that as a win.
And you talk these people's language, don't you?
Yeah, well that's, again, it's one of those things, it's like it's got to be authentic, so it's not for the faint of heart.
Now, Ross, this is authentic, isn't it? Because you get a good slapping throughout the show. Not once, but twice.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I think I've just always kind of been like, I know so many shows do like different stage combat and things like that, but I just feel like because we are trying to make the show so like real and authentic, I'm like, just go for it. I'm like, there's no point doing a fake slap. Like, it might take people like out of the moment. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, just do it. Just wallop me. It's fine.
And I do.
You certainly do. Do you get your own back afterwards, though? I mean, do you have a good scrap afterwards?
100%. No.
You should see us down that lane.
But yeah, I think just because even with the scene when we're doing it, obviously, like you've seen it, like there's so much like adrenaline in it. I think because we're like so in the scene, like I don't even feel it, to be honest. It's when it's not one of the proper loud slaps. See if it's like a smack that's quiet and it hits my jaw or something. That's the one where I'm like, yeah, that actually really hurt. But luckily that doesn't really happen.
I mean, your own journey to this point, how did you get involved in the production?
Me and Liam do the company together. So obviously Liam was writing the script and things like that, and I'm just pretty much there by his side supporting which show he wants to write. But obviously because it has like become very important to us and stuff like that, like I just there's kind of no way I'm not going to be there. I'm like, everything we do as a team and we do it together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Dion, you're involved very heavily in this as well.
Yes.
And how did you actually, get involved in this in the first place?
Well, I've known both the boys separately for a long time, and Liam has written various fantastic scripts, I would like to say, and I have been very fortunate that I auditioned once and got in, and they have never got rid of me, and they're not.
She's like a bad smell.
She can't get rid of me, and you're not going to, because I slap harder, so you better not get rid of me. No, I'm joking. And then Liam kind of brought this idea up, and the three of us, I remember discussing it at the start, and I was like, this sounds amazing. I think we all knew how amazing from the get-go this idea was that Liam had, because I grew up in a scheme, still live in a scheme. A lot of these characters are very familiar to me, and the story is something that resonates a lot with me as somebody who I didn't see myself in the theatre, are the people I grew up with, and my family would struggle to come and see me because they'd be like, I'm not going to see Shakespeare, what's that? I don't know what they're saying. And I always really, really wanted to do something that my family could see, that the people I grew up with could see and would be proud of it. And also I do think, I know that Liam spoke briefly on the caricature, but also this idea of like Scottish people almost in the circumstances that they're in, which can be very horrible and very sad, we don't act like victims in reality. We're not downtrodden. We will always find a laugh. We will always make a joke. We will, no matter what's happening, Scottish people, in my opinion, will always rise up and always be there. And I think that's what Liam's writing does so wonderfully, is yes, there is heartbreaking moments throughout the show, but there is absolutely some of the biggest laughs ever, and it is completely how people speak to each other in the world that I grew up in, my family. It resonates so much. So the minute that I saw the script, I was like, please, can I be in it? Begged, would do anything. So honestly, just an honour that I got the opportunity to be in it. And I know we joked, but I really never do want to stop playing the show, even though I sit here in a pink juicy couture tracksuit. You know what I mean? I'm pulling it off.
You do.
Thank you so much.
You're on video at the moment, I'm afraid, so it's all captured.
Right, okay. Didn't realise that. No, I'm joking. Are you trying to say I don't look good?
It's the mascara.
It's just because I'm really good. No, I'm joking. So then I've been in it for what feels like a long time now. now, but also just yesterday that we started it, and I just feel so lucky that I get to portray a character like Michaela that I resonate so much with some of my best friends on stage, and the feedback from the audience just confirms that what Liam wrote was needed. And people do want to see it, and they do want to hear it, and that's proof time and time again. Like you said yourself, sold out last year, sold out this year, and people are saying really great things, and I think we knew it was a winner at the start, and I was like, I'm staying in. And I'm glad I did.
But you're all actors, of course, and there will be other projects down the line that will tempt you possibly away. And at the moment, to me, that's seeing the play. It's the perfect cast that you've got. I mean, everyone fits beautifully into this, and it would be a shame. And I've said this, watching Blood Brothers or anything else. There's always going to be changes in the cast, but you seem such a close bunch. I can't think of anyone else doing what you're doing.
I get that, and I do totally agree, because I do think the relationship and chemistry that we have as a group is honestly second to none that I've ever been part of. But what I will say is Liam's writing is genuinely just so incredible, because for me as an actor that has worked on a lot of scripts, that script makes the chemistry easy for you because of the way that it flows and the words that you say. It almost is impossible not to have that relationship, I personally feel, because it's there for you in the page, which doesn't happen in a lot of scripts. As an actor, normally you kind of have to find it for yourself and develop it and work on it and all of this. We do a lot of work. However, because of the way that Liam writes it, I feel like the chemistry just naturally does come out within the writing. So that's not a reason to recast me, to be clear. Nobody can do Michaela. But I do, honestly, I think I've got to give that to Liam's writing, because I think that's where that chemistry so strongly comes from.
And we must mention the other three as well, who play a huge part in it. So we've got Candice Nicholson, who plays Sammy, Ewan Ferguson, who plays Joe, and Craig Anthony Ralston, who plays G. Sometimes. because something happened tonight, didn't it?
We're very aware when we cast Craig that his wife was heavily pregnant and would be going into labour during the Fringe. So our show was at 6:15, and at 4:00 we got a phone call to say she was in labour. So tonight we did a show without G.
Obviously you have contingency plans for this sort of thing, and at least you had a bit of a heads up on that. You just didn't know where the dice was going to land, effectively. And goodness me, just 3-4 days before the end, not very good timing. But how do you sort of cope with something like that then?
Well, because we were aware that it was happening, I had sat down and kind of rewritten parts of the script to spread out G's lines and things, and the cast came together as a team to make sure we had a version that worked without G, which is what we did tonight. So we were sitting, if you'd saw us probably about 4 hours ago, you would we were nowhere near as calm as we are about it now. But we got through it. The audience left, the audience were crying, they all said lovely things, so we...
Yeah, so many people said that you would never have known.
Yeah.
Like everyone said you wouldn't have known. Like, because I think although as well, like Liam had wrote this version, we've obviously been doing the normal version with G, so we had obviously sat down together, we'd read through it, but although it was like the audience is like the only audience that will get to see that version, it was also our first time seeing the version, because we've read through it together as a cast, we've never actually stood up and done it, so like just things like blocking like naturally changed and things were different and all that. Like it did feel like a total different show, but also keeps stuff fresh.
The show must go on.
Keeps us on our toes.
You love the challenge, clearly, and so does that mean he's out for
who knows
the rest of it, or
well, we don't know.
So it's plan A or plan B tomorrow?
Yep.
We don't know yet. We'll see.
We'll keep it fresh.
But now we know that we can do that version fine. Like we can do either or.
Maybe we'll try it with another character tomorrow night.
Not Michaela.
Yes, you've been warned. Absolutely warned there. But the interesting thing is, I mean, you all look, when you go in and you see the whole cast on stage for the very first time, you're pretty terrifying. I mean,
Well, see, because we come in our costumes, like we arrive to Edinburgh in our costumes.
Well, I was thinking of Michaela in particular.
Sorry? Don't know what you mean.
Scary woman.
The looks we get is wild. Like, and then we would even like, because after we finish the show, sometimes we go and support like other people and see their shows and things. And we were at a show last night, and obviously I'm sitting like this, and then literally the show we watched, they started like, it was like a comedian, and they were talking about somebody with like a ridiculous Fringe and all that and stuff like that, and then they went, let's make sure they're not here and put the lights up, and I was like, oh no, I was like, because I'm sitting like this, like the looks that we get, don't we get proper stared at?
Well, I think I saw it before I even knew about this play. I was in the reception and I sort of kept a wide berth from these 6 lunatics, in reception. I thought, well, who's let them in? This is a respectful hotel, But there is, as I said, there's a lot of comedy. There's a lot of violence in there, and collectively, you must be so proud of what you've achieved.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's came further than any of us thought it was going to come, and it was received better than we ever thought it would be as well. Like, we would never have thought when we'd done the first show that 4 years later we would be doing our second run at the Fringe, that we would have been already taking it to England, that we would, do you know what I mean? We would have won so many awards and stuff. So like, it's done more than we ever thought it could possibly do, and we're very proud of that.
And of course, Glasgow, the sort of knife capital, as we mentioned, also the friendliest city, as Kevin Bridges keeps reminding us. You'll get stabbed, but you'll get directions to the hospital.
We'll phone you an ambulance after it.
That's it. Very helpful, very helpful. And of course, probably the capital city of bad language as well, and particularly you, Michaela. Dion. I'm sure Dion off stage, you're as white as white, aren't you?
Oh, I am so polite, well spoken, never said a bad word in my life.
She's going back to the convent tonight.
But kids don't. I mean, we've just seen another little play, which is really like a pantomime, and it's peppered with F words and what have you. And we've kind of moved on. I guess I'm from a completely different era, and obviously the Glasgow factor comes in as well. But the language is totally true to how it is today.
Well, I think it's one of those things that I say quite a lot, actually. I think swearing, there's 2 types of swearing. There's swearing for swearing's sake, and then there's swearing to enhance your sentence. So I like to think that we enhance the sentences rather than having it in just for the sake of swearing, because it's authentically how somebody would speak, rather than it being like, there's some lines you're just saying, you go, that needs an F in there.
Like, so even when we rehearse it and stuff, like if somebody adds in any extra swear words that are like in Liam's script, like, we're very quick to kind of be like, okay, if you are adding a swear here, though, we're going to need to take it out of the other word of the sentence, and that, because again, as he's saying, swearing to enhance the sentence. We don't just want swear words in it for the sake of just having swearing in it. Do you know what I mean?
And that's the thing, isn't it? Because I mean, I go back to obviously Billy Connolly in his early days, and peppered with F words, but it was done in the right places, and I think that's the thing. Whereas there's comedians who go for the shock value and it's FFF all the way. It doesn't work. But for something like this, in context, it has to be there. Because I can't imagine like you having a U certificate, for instance, and changing the words to something that's not. It's just it's a gritty play, it's a gritty comedy, and it needs it, doesn't it?
What's interesting about that, though, is we've had so many parents, so many school teachers, people that work with young people say how this show has to be like in schools. Young people have to say it. We've actually had parents like bring, maybe slightly younger but still age appropriate to an extent, to see the show because of how accurate they feel the show is for their kids. And I think that's one of the things that really hit home for us, that we realised that actually, even though we know we can't take it to schools, etc., because of the language that's used, the reason why young people would resonate with it is because it's accurate to how they actually do speak, and we're not shielding them from something that they don't already know. Because I do think it would be a wee bit naive to think, because I know what I was like at 16, probably worse, but...
It was only a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly.
She just turned 17 last week.
But I think, we can pretend that young people don't use this language and they aren't aware of what's going on and play to that, but that's not the case, because obviously we play these characters as younger, so the reality is they do know it and they are aware of it, and it is a shame in a way that we can't allow them to see it for what it is, because I understand why, but I also do think it would resonate. And we have had a lot of parents say, I'm bringing my 16-year-old, my 17-year-old to see this because it's so important to them, and it does resonate with them.
What certificate does this one have? Is it 16 plus?
It's recommended 16 plus, however, to parents' discretions if they want to bring...
I think we have had a little bit younger.
Yeah, we have had 14 and stuff, but it's by people who have seen it already and then came back feedback with their younger kid.
Yeah, I mean, I think surely parents would have, a say in this as well, but this is the sort of thing the schools should be putting out. And, okay, you could put your 12A warnings or whatever. It would be a 12A, wouldn't it, if it was a film, probably. Maybe. Yeah. And people would have the choice then. Look, this contains bad language, violence, and all the rest of it. But there's a huge message in there.
Yeah.
If those parents want their kids to stay away, fine.
Yeah.
But I think on that basis, there is something that you could actually go into the schools, because it is such an important play.
Yeah.
I think that's what's also so rewarding for us, isn't it? Like, because although, people have brought their kids and things to see it, but see the amount of audience members that have told us their stories and their past and how they've related to it, and a lot of it it's hard to hear, but it just kind of does show how relevant it is and how much it is hitting home to people. Do you know what I mean? Which is obviously what we're aiming to let people know, how real it is and authentic it is.
Absolutely. Now, Martin Compston, of course, played the wee man in Glasgow. Have you actually met him at all? Is he?
No, I've never met him.
Your paths haven't crossed yet.
No.
He's one of my kind of heroes, I must admit. Ever since Sweet 16 came out from Greenock Morton back in the day, and he's gone on to tremendous things as well. And these are characters. I mean, you were telling me, Liam, that you played the pantomime dame,
and I look great in a dress.
And I remember Gerard Kelly, who was from Glasgow. I saw him on Brookside, and he was in there for a few months of stuff, and just so believable. And then he turns around, you see his comedy side as well, and people, I think, keep forgetting that you're actors, but that's a good thing, because you're so convincing. So I mean, when's the film coming out?
Are you funding that as well? You're making big promises today.
Write a check.
Just remember how good I am at slap.
I know, it won't bounce, I promise. But I mean, again, that would seem to be the natural next step. But of course, we do forget about everything has to be funded, and there are a lot of different plays who've got the same kind of theme. BBC probably has something in the pipeline, the series. ITV will have something, Channel 4. It's finding that gap at the right time. But presumably, at the end of the day, it's still a young journey that you're on, and the vision for long term has to be taking it much, much higher than it is at the moment.
We hope so. We hope so.
I mean, definitely. I mean, that's been 4 years, like you're saying. It's at the right time. So if anyone's listening, but I'm kidding.
Bring the money. That's right. But are you influenced by sort of acting? I mean, let's go round. I mean, Liam, who are your idols in the world of acting?
Dion Fratty.
So much.
It's looking good for you. It's looking good, Dion.
I don't actually know. There's just so many. I think the thing is, there are so many actors who are not names who should be, and I think there's so many actors you see on stage who deserve to be seen on bigger stages and on TV and things like that who aren't. So for me, I think it would be actors like them who are plodding along for very little recognition and still doing it because it's what they love to do, rather than doing it for the money and all that. The money would be lovely, don't get me wrong. But it's those actors who are doing it for the love of the job that I would say I admire the most.
What about you, Dion?
I've got a bit of a mix, kind of the opposite of you. No, I'm joking. I think for me, Elaine C. Smith, no surprise, but being a woman, especially in comedy, it is really difficult for people to laugh at you. Don't know why, and I'm hilarious. But Elaine C. Smith inspires me, I think, because she just gets right in about it, and she doesn't stop. She keeps doing it. Even now she's doing a show. I do think she is the sort of actress that is an inspiration to young women specifically, because she does just keep going and pushing herself. And I also think she's the sort of person that leaves the door open for the rest of us. She's done so much that I can see as well, where she's not trying to stop anyone else from getting up with her. She's like, "Come on up, join me, it's great up here." And I'm a bit like, "Right, want to take me up, man, Elaine?" But I do get what Liam says as well, and I do understand. I've got lots of friends, they've been doing this for a really long time, and they're in the theatres, and they're maybe not doing TV work or whatever, but they're in the theatres and they're doing stuff, they're creating work, and they're pushing it and keep doing it. And to sustain it is really difficult. It's not an easy career path to go down. There's so much competition, there's so much talent, and there's no jobs. So seeing those people, like Liam said, doing that. So I'm a bit of both. I get what Liam's saying as well. I would agree with that. And then obviously the queen that is Elaine C. Smith.
Ross.
I mean, I'm going to need to do a cop out. I'm I do agree obviously with what they're saying. I'm I can't specifically think of a single person to name that I would say, but I do think there are just so many actors that are working their butts off, like even between jobs, like even things like whenever we do tours like outside of here and stuff, and even with people that have done like when we were young, like there's people that are literally like working constantly to try and get to do the tours, and then so that they're actually able to still make the time for that, they're then like working with us, maybe rehearsing, and then the second they'll finish at night, go away and do like another job, like a bar job or like working in a hotel and stuff, like, and it's these people that are trying to make ends meet but also still trying to make it as an actor, do you know what I mean? Because it's hard going, like it is.
It certainly is. Well, I would probably throw Gerard Butler, another Scottish actor, into the ring there. But look, it's been fabulous. So, I mean, we could talk for another half hour quite easily, but we're going to have to wrap up now, unfortunately. But of course, you're appearing at the Space 2, Venue 39, Space on the Mile, Radisson Blu Hotel, of course, but you're sold out.
Yeah, well, there's actually 15 tickets left for tomorrow, last we checked.
Oh, they'll be gone by the time this goes out.
Well, there's one ticket on Thursday,
My
but
goodness.
Friday and Saturday's gone.
It really is a hot ticket, and it's when we were young, and it's great to have Liam and Ross and Dion here with us today, and the very best of luck for the future with it. I'm going to be following it with interest. There will be, of course, a tour coming up, which will be the full version, and I cannot wait to see that. So continued success to you all. You're a great bunch, and you're a real credit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 minutes of shame from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
I want to tell you a true story. Many years ago, a humble young musical comedian was approached by some radio producers and asked if he might contribute one of his comedy voices to a new segment for their network's most popular show. For many years, this young man delighted in answering questions from people all over the world and bringing a little simple joy to his troubled land, while all the time, nobody knew who he really was. But now his story can finally be told. Mitch Ben is Asking Elvis, coming soon to a theater near you. Thank you very much.
This August, discover the best comedy, cabaret, kids shows and more at the Free Festival. With over 360 daily shows, there's something for everybody at a price for everyone. Donate what you think the show's worth at the end, or book pay what you can tickets to keep the Fringe accessible for everyone. The Free Festival, the real spirit of the Edinburgh Fringe. Full programme at freefestival.co.uk.
One story, two people. Amanda Crowley and Thomas Duncan. One lawyer, one mass murderer. The case is lost. She wants it anyways. Not to win, but to understand how monsters are made. Glimpse behind the societal masks, as with Monster Made, an intense character study, a captivating, psychological, intimate play is coming to the Fringe at Paradise in the Vault. Only the one who can change his mind can actually change something. Monster Made runs from August 24th to August 30th. Book your seats today at edfringe.com.
Florence Nightingale, you've heard of her, but have you heard of Betsy Cadwallader? The globe-trotting, fearless, feisty Welshwoman who defied Miss Nightingale to become one of the first frontline war nurses at the age of 65. Her story theatre company from Newport, South Wales brings Betsy to Edinburgh Festival Fringe, a heartwarming, funny and inventive two-woman play that restores a forgotten Welsh working-class heroine to her rightful place in history. Catch it at the Space at Surgeons Hall, 24th to 29th of August at 1:45pm. Suitable for children over 12. Tickets available from the Space box office.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Yet another show that's not peaking too soon because they're starting at the end of the Fringe, going through to the 29th. It's called Romeo and I by Toy Horse Theatre, and Katie and Laura are with me now. Hello. Which one are you?
I am Laura.
Hello, Laura. Tell me about Romeo and I.
So Romeo and I is a 25-minute show about a young woman called Jane who struggles with human connection after a deepfake scandal and turns to AI chatbot for connection. And it's about how that could be a moral grey area and how that could go wrong.
Katie, how did you get involved?
So we both co-wrote this show and it's both of us performing in it. So this is our first time. We're just recent graduates from theatre studies at Glasgow University. So this is our first solo project. We've done everything ourselves. It's all very DIY and it's going to be very cool.
And you've gone for quality over quantity.
Indeed.
And it's at, the venue 45 Jeffrey Street, the space, and that's on at 4:20 every day.
It's only 25 minutes, which is perfect for someone with a small gap in their schedule. The venue we're in is also one of the original Fringe venues. If anyone's into Fringe history, it's from the 1940s, so
That's a good point, actually, because people are trying to fit things in all the time, and they overlap. And 25 minutes will slot in nicely.
We only have 5 minutes to get people in and out anyway, so we're not going to take too much of your time. If you're needing something a little bit different, a little bit short, then that's perfect.
There we are. Well, we wish you the best of luck with it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day.
Jump Ship are presenting After Careful Consideration, which is a play by Sam and Jacob Bellamy. It's venue 53 Nicholson Street, the space at Surgeons Hall at 2:55 until the 29th. Who do I have here?
I'm the technician. My name is Rebecca Thompson, and we have the producer, Ben.
Ben, hello, Ben. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, so it's a play about 4 graduates, recent graduates, thrust into post-university life. But it's a light-hearted, comedic, version of
Perils of flat cess in the job market.
Essentially, yeah. A lot of rejections, a lot of grad schemes.
Who are the stars of the show?
Stars of the show are Ellie Mayrook, Skye County, Sam Bellamy, the writer himself, is also performing in it, and Amber Moore, who plays a really funny character who's called Jono, who's kind of this very separate comedic character who has very rich parents and is very separate from the other three's struggles in the play.
And that's all very well, but it's all about the technician, isn't it? Because without the technicians behind the scenes, the sound, the lights, you have no play.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved?
I got involved because they are good friends of mine that we met at uni, and we're all sort of in the same world trying to struggle through the job market. I'm lucky enough to have been given jobs in tech before.
It's venue 53 Nicholson Street, the space at Surgeons Hall, all the way till the 29th at 2:55. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, so many shows are starting today and going through to the 29th or the 30th or Dead Monday on the 31st. I've been attracted to this one, though, because he's got a load of celebrations, and I'm going to go and dip into and get a Galaxy in a second. Others are available. These 3 people here are in perfect harmony, but don't take my word for it, because that's the name of the play.
I'm Millie.
Millie?
Yeah. I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Josh.
They are in perfect harmony, as we said. And they're appearing at Greenside at George Street, venue 236, which is the Olive Studio. And you've already been and done some stuff, haven't you? 17th, going the way through to the 29th. So you're fully up and running to the 29th. It's 1:45 starts. Tell us about In Perfect Harmony.
Well, In Perfect Harmony, are you a fan of Severance? Are you a fan of The Office? Are you a fan of Black Mirror? Are you a fan of 1984? This is a sort of amalgamation of all of those with, as the title suggests, 3 characters living in perfect harmony. No, they do not live in perfect harmony.
I was going to dispute that one.
It's an ironic title, but it does refer somewhat to the music that we've got in the show. We've got a lot of 80s music.
Well, look at the pictures on here as well. In Perfect Harmony, you're very aggressive. You're very aggressive on this particular picture here. So I think there's going to be a lot of fun in this play.
You'd be right in saying that, and a lot of fun and a lot of corporate, antagonistic, nightmarish, silly humour jokes. You can tell we've worked on our pitch.
Yes, and it's aimed at what kind of audience?
Honestly, when I say for everybody, not blanket statement, but if you like sort of the psychological thriller twist, it's got a bit of that in there for you. It's even got some toilet humour if that's up your street as well.
Well, you're obviously enjoying it, and the sunshine as well in Edinburgh. Who would have thought? So we wish you all the best of luck with it. And once again, venue 236, Greenside, George Street, Olive Studio, on to the 29th at 1:45. And I'm now going to have my Galaxy. Goodbye.
Enjoy it.
Well, just to end the Royal Walk for today, Addie is here, who's wearing a resplendent cone on her head, which is a nice blue and pink offering. Pink T-shirts all round here, and this is the next chapter, a new play by you.
By me.
By you, your Addie Silver. And it says here, Charlotte and Margot couple therapy notes. Tell me about this, because it's at the Greenside at Riddles Court, which is venue 16 at the Thistle Theatre. Mermaids at the Fringe. I'm looking for dates. Oh, there they are. August the 24th to the 29th. So you're kind of newcomers coming in late to the Fringe, and it's 12:50 every day. Tell me more.
So the next chapter follows a therapy session between an up-and-coming author and the main character of her debut novel as they sort of squabble and bicker about what the plot of a sequel should be.
And what's this free therapy with Victor? He is not a licensed therapist. Are you Victor here?
Yes, I am playing the therapist in the show, and to get some flyers
You're not qualified, it says.
No, don't tell anyone.
Well, the cat's out of the bag, I'm afraid now.
Oh no.
It's all part of the show. It's all part of the show.
Yeah,
the
all
next
part of the
chapter.
show. Yes, that's us. I will be playing the therapist in this show, who helps the author and her protagonist work through their issues of trying to write a sequel. It's only a half hour, it's pretty short, it's very fun, and we have had a lot of fun putting it on.
You said 30 minutes. It's 40 minutes on here, quite clearly. 40 minutes. Who is right? Is it 35, 40, 30? What is it, Abby?
30. It's
roughly 30.
Yeah.
False advertising going on here. 40 minutes clear. And you, well, the buck must stop at you, surely.
Yeah, 30 minutes. It's some fast-paced dialogue, so we maybe misjudged the time a little bit, but that's okay.
You'll do 30 minutes and then a 10-minute encore, presumably.
Yes, 10 minutes of thunderous applause.
Thunderous applause, that's it. And who are you?
I'm the producer of the show.
The producer. What's the most difficult part of your job?
I would say
looking after these people, I imagine.
Keeping everyone grounded and making sure they're all on the same page. We've been, it's been amazing so far. We're a pretty small team, so it's been like absolutely fabulous getting everyone together, and we all get on really well, so it's been great.
Right, well, we certainly look forward to seeing that all the way through to the 29th at Greenside Riddles Court, venue 16. This, of course, is a 30-minute play, not a 40, misprint there. And it's called The Next Chapter, a new play by Addie Silver. Best of luck, Addie.
Thank you very much.
So there it is, another day gone on the Royal Mile. Still plenty of new shows, which is great to see, and we'll do another one tomorrow.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Hugh Brown was out recently and bumped into Stephen Smith, who has certainly got an obsession with Edgar Allan Poe.
I'm a little bit crazy. I've memorized 18,000 words of Edgar Allan Poe's stories from the 1840s, and I performed them all live as theatre. It's certainly a niche, but I feel like I'm the only one crazy enough in the world to memorize that amount verbatim. So these aren't any naff adaptations of his work. These are what he wrote down, but performed passionately, almost like a live audiobook experience.
So why would anyone want to come and see One Man Poe?
Well, let's start off with Poe fans. Edgar Allan Poe is the granddaddy of Gothic horror. He inspired people like Lovecraft, Sherlock Holmes, Stephen King, Alfred Hitchcock. The reason why these people do what they do is all because of Edgar Allan Poe. Now, Edgar Allan Poe is a pioneer of the Gothic genre, and what I would say to those who don't know Edgar Allan Poe's stories is that this is the perfect introduction to them, because I've done all the hard work for them. You just need to turn up, sit back and relax, and I do them all live in front of you. You don't need to read a thing. But to those who do know the stories, it's like reliving them for the first time.
Is it heavy going though, Steve?
I think for the audience, it depends what show you go to see. Like, for example, I do the show in 3 different shows. So I do a show A, show B, and show C. I do a double bill of Poe each and every show. You don't need to see all 3. It's not like a part 1, part 2, part 3 situation. You get a double bill every show. Show C, for example, contains a comedy. He wrote a comedy on US capitalism called The Businessman, which no one's ever performed before. So if you fancy a bit of a laugh, a dark comedy experience, come along to that one. Whereas show A and B are macabre classics, very serious, not really many laughs in them, although there are a few little moments of humour.
But show C, the businessman, I mean, it sounds almost like it could be based on a certain American president of the current day.
It's funny you say that because it's about this man called Peter Prophet, and in Poe's original story, which is obviously a story you read, he's trying to convince the reader to trust him. So I performed The Businessman as a presidential campaign speech.
So I wasn't far wrong then.
You certainly weren't. It's not too on the nose. I don't wear any orange wigs or anything, but it's certainly surprisingly relevant, yes.
Do you know, it never ceases to amaze me, the range of shows in the Fringe, but yours certainly is up there with one of the more unusual ones.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I do take it as a compliment. I mean, this is my 3rd year back with One Man Poe. Show C is new, but I think, I think Edinburgh Fringe rewards obsessions, and there is something to be said about memorising this amount of Edgar Allan Poe stories. Obsession is the word, but the great thing is that I really do feel like it's a good audience experience. There's a lot of solo shows, of course, but I feel like my show really puts the audience experience on top of the pedestal rather than my own experience.
And how long did it take you to learn those 18,000 Edgar Allan Poe words?
The first one I ever did was The Telltale Heart in the middle of the pandemic as an online show. And then a few months later, I did The Black Cat. And then a few months after that, I learnt The Pit and the Pendulum and the Raven. And now finally for this summer, I've learnt The Case of M. Valdemar and The Businessman. So it's been an incremental thing over years. I feel like if someone presented me the full script from day one, I wouldn't been able to. It would just have been a Mount Everest I wouldn't have bothered to climb. The thing is, I've done this show in many countries now. I do it it's not just a Halloween show. I do it all year round, and besides show C, which is actually quite a big production, it all fits in a suitcase. So I tour around the UK, like I say, other countries, and I'm a bit of a travelling storyteller now, all because of Poe and other solo shows that I do.
Well, it's lovely to speak to you. Let me tell folk that it's on at the Greenside at Riddles Court, venue 16, the Willow Studio, and it's on at various times, in fact, through until the 29th of August.
Correct, yes. 2 shows a day, 12:45 and 6:35.
Good to talk to you, Steve. All the best.
Thank you.
Finally today we return to a chat Stuart McFarlane had a few days ago with the great Archie MacPherson, the now retired 89-year-old former BBC TV and radio broadcaster.
Again, we think about you starting off, a high point very early on was going to Lisbon, covering the success of Celtic. Further European finals involving Rangers, Aberdeen, Dundee United, a second Celtic final, of course, in 1970. You did come on the scene at what was the dawn of an exceptionally rich period in both the international game, but especially the club game.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very fortunate. These club successes made me, because my voice was associated, my face was associated with success, great success. And I helped a commentator be associated with great goals, victories, and the feeling that we are creating something exceptional in that era. So I hugely benefited, and I'm fortunate. I was very fortunate. God knows what it would have been like if it had been failure. So coming back from Lisbon, coming back from Barcelona, coming back from Gothenburg, just to mention these 3, of course, you were carried along with their success. And as I say, I keep saying, what would it be like if I had to been dealing with the kind of failures we've had in recent years. Because not only that, I was beginning to suggest that we were at the beginning of a very rich period that would go on and on and on. Of course, it didn't, because the reality of life and money associated with the sport and football was going to take over just from natural talent.
I mean, the 60s, the tail end, well, all the way through the 60s, if you look at Rangers' success, particularly between 62 and 64, how good a side they had at the time. But towards the late 60s into the early 70s, Celtic very dominant, Rangers beginning to perform much better in cup competitions before eventually winning a league title again in the mid-70s to end a barn run. Hibernian having a very good side, being always there or thereabouts. Then you suddenly have the emergence of the East and Aberdeen, and much more surprisingly, a presence in Dundee that is not Dundee Football Club. Suddenly Dundee United are on the scene. That then, after about 10 years of you behind the microphone, takes a whole new direction.
It does, and with an exceptional human being in charge of Dundee United. I rate Jim McLean as one of the most influential figures in Scottish football. Alec Ferguson, or Sir Alec as we call him now, used to crack jokes about him. He cracked jokes about him because he knew he was a big threat. He knew, we Jim did this and we Jim did that, but really, he respected him highly. And I used to sit in the boot room with Alec Ferguson, talking about Scottish football, some of which have never left that room. Incredible. Couldn't possibly leave the room and so on. But he respected wee McLean. And yes, it was unusual, because not only was he successful in getting players to play, he was just a different man altogether from the other people you had to deal with. Very difficult to interview. If he was in a huff about something, it was like squeezing a dry stone, to get anything out of him. But then when you started on football, he was absolutely brilliant. I remember watching a Rangers game at Tannadice, and Rangers were winning 2-0, I think, with only about 20 minutes to go. And Dundee United went on 1-3-2, something like that. And at the end, I said to Jim, "What about celebrating tonight?" No. The wife and I will be up doing the books, make sure we got the books right for today. And I thought, this is a different human being, you know. Other people would be out. But like Jock Stein, he was a teetotaler. And I always remember when they won the league at the Dens Park, you couldn't get anything more astonishing than that, winning at Dens Park and so on. He had the big trophy in his hand, full of champagne. The players had been drinking it. So I went up with the mic and the camera. And I said, "No, come on, you'll have to drink." He said, No. I said, "It's a part of the tradition." And he lifted it up and said, straight into camera, "Forgive me, mother." It took a slug of the champagne. Yeah, he was exceptional, and so were the players around him. I remember when he went to Italy, you know, they got dogs abuse from the supporters and even the opposition. And I remember they went to Barcelona to play a game, and they won it, surprisingly. And I came down the stairs from a very high position in Barcelona, and there were the Dundee officials waiting for the board and everything else. There wasn't a smile on their faces at all. They were so serious about this. I think it was a reflection of what Jim McLean was himself. You would have thought they'd been bouncing about the place. And it was a reflection of how austere their approach to life was, but very successful.
Did you find that was a little bit easier to draw out of Jock Stein and Jock Wallace, for instance, when they were in charge of the old firm? Because they obviously both had periods of extreme success.
Yes, they did. And it was easier to talk to them, of course. There was no question at all about that. There was a period when Steen wouldn't talk to the BBC at all because they felt they were again Celtic. And I remember being up at Aberdeen and Pittodrie, sitting waiting for the Celtic team to arrive. And in they came, and Steen whipped past me, and this was a habit he used to have. He used to whip past you and make a comment, and he was away so quickly you couldn't reply to it. And he said to me, never send Alistair Alexander back to Parkhead again. The other commentator, and then walked on. And I said, couldn't get him. So I said, this has to stop. So I went to Parkhead to see him. He was surprised. Went into the boardroom. He took me into the boardroom, and I said, this mustn't stop. This must stop. You can't go on this feeling that we're all against you. And he said, well, he actually said this to me. He said, we're going places. We're definitely going places, and you're as well. Coming with us. That sort of thing. Words, can't remember the exact words, that kind of phraseology. So I said to him, remember at that time I was merely fairly new in the BBC. I had no authority. I was simply up front, saying things, doing commentaries. But I suddenly said to him, how about Wednesday night? We're doing a Scotland game. Would you like to come and assist me analyse the Scotland game? And he looked at me and I got a wee surprise. And I knew Jock couldn't refuse that. Yeah, I suppose I could. And that was that. That was he and I on a relationship that went right through to eventually me writing a book about him.
But he was a man that you noticed firsthand, used to really worry about global affairs and specific instances and incidents and ongoing troubles. You were with him immediately prior to the 82 World Cup, and we've touched on this before. He was very concerned about what might happen in the Falklands and its impact on the World Cup and the national team.
Absolutely. To cut a long story short, we ended up going to New Zealand. He didn't really want to go to New Zealand. I knew he didn't want to go to New Zealand to see New Zealand playing against an Irish league side. It was of no importance. But because Ali MacLeod had refused to go and see the opposition before his World Cup, I said to him, you've got to go. So we got as far as San Francisco. And I always remember he was in the room next to me, and I flopped out in the bed. It was a very tiring journey. And I heard the Dan Rather, the famous American announcer, saying, good evening, the news from the South Atlantic has taken a sinister turn with the sinking of the SS Belgrano and the loss of 99 lives. About 2 minutes later, I had the door being bashed. No, the Steen came in and says, come on, we're going home, we're not going to New Zealand. Your boys are going to be dragooned into the army. Maggie's going to nuke them. We can't have that. No, you get them home, and so on. But I cooled them down. We did go to that. So, yes, he was involved in those aspects.
Well, we were talking there about clubs. You mentioned, obviously, Rangers, Celtic, the managers, how they would chat, how they would, come across when you were interviewing them. Just a couple of matches to finish with, to bring in Rangers, Aberdeen and Hearts. What was your own experience like in Barcelona in '72, where Rangers won the Cup Winners' Cup?
Well, curiously enough, when anybody asks me about that, I think about where I was in the stadium. I'd been previously there with Dundee United, and I'd done the commentary from way up in the rim of the stadium, big bowl of a stadium, as you know. In the Rangers game, for some reason, and maybe it was because BBC Scotland were kind of edged out, I was only about 6 seats from the front. And with 20 minutes to go, or thereabouts, I had a Rangers supporter trying to sit in my knee with a bottle of Fundador, pouring it into a glass. Now, I like a Fundador, but maybe not during the commentary. And That's the first thing I remember about it. I also remember the signal that the little colonel of the militia that were there giving the signal to charge onto the field with the Rangers supporters who came on at the end, and the battle ensued. And it was ugly, absolutely ugly. And I remember going up to the back, climbing our way up to the back to get a better view of what was happening, get away from the bottom. And I met one of the correspondents, a Euro correspondent in general, who said to me, who knew Spain very well, he says, they're not local, they're Basque, and they're brought in by Franco to keep down the population. And that's the way they react to crowds. They can only do one thing, and that was to batter them. And so the Rangers supporters should have got off. They didn't. They fought, and that was it. And John Gregg was presented with a cup with the words in the dressing room, not outside, here's the cup. It was as anticlimactic as that. So that's what I remember about that night in Barcelona. Shameful.
A contrast to, I guess, Lisbon, and a contrast then to Gothenburg as well, when Aberdeen were collecting the silverware in '83, because at least Billy McNeill and Willie Miller were very visible receiving the trophy with the stadium around them.
It's totally different, yes. Barcelona was a different night. Billy McNeill was in the sun. I was very close to Billy McNeill in the presentation area. They had to drive him round the ground to get to it because he couldn't get through the crowd, which was massed on the field. The Gothenburg was different because it was a rainy night and a muddy pitch. I remember John Hewitt sliding over to get that winner and so on. And Alec Ferguson was the first man to greet me. I was the first man greeted by Alec Ferguson because I wasn't doing the commentary that night. I was there to report for Breakfast Television, which I was presenting with Frank Boff. And they sent me to do interviews. So he hugged me and lifted me in the air and so on. And then a few months later fell out with me because of something I said about his goalkeeper.
The cup final in 1980. Well, we've heard your reaction. We know your reaction, very articulate reaction to the battle that ensued after the full-time whistle. But what were some of the comments that you received afterwards from the clubs or the supporters, just assessing and reacting to what happened that day, that Scottish Cup final 1980?
There wasn't much reaction. I think that both clubs wanted to disassociate themselves, not to blame any particular of their support. And so they didn't say terribly much to me about that. They may have written in other places. But I personally came across no reaction from either club to what I had said. There was a media reaction, of course, but that in itself is a game that I remember mostly because I received more satisfaction in describing the riot than I did the game. The game was a bore. The winning goal was an in-off, sort of thing. The game itself was really nothing, although a cup was at stake, Scottish Cup was at stake. And what mattered, that's why I got my teeth into the commentary, particularly when the White Horses came on and cleared. I remember, I don't know whether it was Tom English or somebody wrote, if the police inspector had got his hands on you, he would have done you some damage. Because in my commentary, I kept saying, where on earth are the police? Where are the police? Because they were slow in reacting.
Well, listen, thank you ever so much for your time. And it's lovely to see you again.
Very nice to see you, and I hope your stint at the festival is successful.
Thank you very much, Archie. All the best.
Stuart McFarlane talking to the great man Archie MacPherson. And that's your lot for today. We'll be back on Fringe Radio again tomorrow. Thanks for listening. And from me, Stuart Cameron, and the team, bye for now.